Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. The channel is for education and technology. Today, I'd like to share with you something really critical if one really wants to study Wing Chun or any martial arts. So, clear thinking or be able to think clearly is a must for one to study Wing Chun or any martial arts. This is a matter of life and death. If one do not have a clear thinking, then it is extremely not likely one be able to study anything well. So, in the past a week or so, I have shared the Shaolin short strikes characteristics in momentum, in footwork, which is come with the knee strike, which is the characteristics. And then yesterday I share on the footwork of short strike, which is the pivoting and the rolls of the short strike, which is very unique compared with other martial arts, because this is a short strike type. So I got many messages from our Wing Chun friends. Some of our friends who is experienced in sparring and so forth see that right away. However, there are many people, many friends, Wing Chun friends, who really do not have a clear thinking. So today I like to point out these four disaster not clear thinking. Unless we drop this type of thinking, or else it's not likely one can learn anything. Well, sure, one can sit in a restaurant or the beer bar or the sport bar, have a glass of beer and then talking ball games. But that is not learning martial art or learning Wing Chun. When you are in the ball game and comment on it with a glass of beer, you are free to say whatever you want. Okay, we can go having fun there. But learning martial art is a different story. So, the first type of the unclear thinking is generalizations. So one guy comment on stepping off is common in all arts or all martial arts. On what I share on this the Shaolin short strike, footwork, pivoting and rolls. Well, is that true that stepping off is common? What the term is common, but is it common? Do we know what it is? Let's look at, say, Kyokushin. Is it really stepping off or is attack from different directions? This is Kyokushin. If we don't know the details of it, the characteristic of it, will we know what it is? That's Kyokushin. Let's look at BJJ. Is this common stepping off? Well, obviously, if we never practice BJJ or never practice Kyokushin, we have no idea what it is. We can say, oh, stepping off is common. Common for what? Does the Kyokushin step in and attack, or angling and attack, pivoting, the same with the BJJ? It's the same with the Western boxing. So, this type of generalizations thinking is extremely bad. It ends up with people will say, I know. When whatever people say, anything you say, I know. But really we don't know. So it is common to put everything as common, so it's I know, I have it too. Is that true that? You know you have it too? If we don't go study that BJJ or Western boxing or Kyokushin or Thai boxing, on whatever it is. So, there is no such thing as all arts. Every martial art has its uniqueness and has its details. It cannot be generalized. With an untrained eyes, you can see everything is the same. With the trained eyes, it is not the same. Or it is the same. That has to base on details. With an untrained eyes, never trained in it, you look at that because one doesn't know the details. So the magic is in the details. Generalizations is a kiss of death. It's a disaster. The second thing is the unclear thinking of off topic. Somebody comment on my video yesterday on this short strike, footwork, pivoting rolls. And they said, can Hendrik showing this against unwilling opponent to show his point? Can Hendrik showing this against unwilling opponent to show his point? You know why? This is completely off topic. This is not looking at what I present in my video and go personal. What did I present yesterday in the video? Shaolin short strike. From this page to this page to this page. You go to my video yesterday, you look at how I stand, okay, or the video on a few days ago on the attack with the footwork with the attack with the knees. It is there. So if one not be able to know what is others is talking about and keeping get this, can Hendrik show this against unwilling opponent to show his point? Now you get a problem. One don't see the details, one don't see what it is, and get into the personal. And this is the type of mind which is always, I better than you, I want to beat you. What can one learn with those kind of unclear thinking? So, if anybody want say, can Hendrik show this against unwilling opponent to show his point? Why don't you go back to with time machine to ask the Shaolin ancestor and Wing Chun ancestor? Let them show you whatever it is with their real opponent. See, if we get a book, this is from Royce Grace. If we look at this, we are really grateful and appreciate because people show us the details of his art or her art. And in this case, it is the Gracie family show the details of the art. I am not going to go reading this book and go tell Royce Gracie saying that, hey, you get a guy who is unwilling opponent to show me your point. People is talking about techniques. People is not talking about who is the strongest man in the world. And the reason why we read the book is because we appreciate the art. We appreciate the person. We want to learn what they are doing in details. So, going off topic is not going to get one anywhere. Again, it is going to be like in the sport bar. You're sitting down there, you start arguing, go off topic, just to prove that you know more than other people. Or just to put down other people. That's completely off technical topics. That is a disaster. One need to drop those kind of unclear thinking. The third thing is alibi. Alibi sound like this. Good scientists can get the point across to the layman in a way he can understand and show his knowing what he is talking about. This is alibi. Let's get back to many decades ago. This is Jack Dempsey. You know, go to the web, you can see this is Jack Dempsey's famous falling step. And here he talk about the gravity and all kind of stuff. Do you think that Jack don't go study hard and expect Newton to present to him in a layman term? Do you think Jack Dempsey don't train hard and think hard and study hard to get there? To get what he can have? Well, this is Western boxing, right? People are in, this is scientific stuff already. Talk about the falling step, the gravity. Look at, Jack Dempsey. So, all this alibi of a good scientist can get the point across. What is a good scientist? Have you met one? Why don't you come to Silicon Valley and see does those good scientists, the top CEO or CTO, which is the top class in the high tech, have the patience to talk to you? If you don't even be able to shut up and learn. So again, this is unclear thinking. And in my experience, when I talk to all this guru in the Silicon Valley, the best designer, all this guru, one just keep quiet and open the eye, ear, and think and learn and listen. And if we don't know, we just say we don't know. That's the way how to learn. It's not all this alibi. If I don't understand something, it's other people's fault. Well, you continue to do those kind of unclear thinking. No wonder you have a books here always around the world for past 80 years, and how many read it? So the alibi is an unclear thinking we should avoid at all costs. Really, good scientist. See, good scientist is not good teacher. I have met many gurus in Silicon Valley. The father of circuit design in this way and that way. They don't have patience. They say one thing, you better go home and do homework. And tomorrow come to see them with the data. Then they tell you again. Otherwise, they are not your teacher. That is the slogan. I'm not your teacher. You go study before you come. Okay? So that is scientists. Scientists, especially the good one, is not our high school teacher. It's not our preschool teacher. Okay? So there's a reality of the world. We need to know. We need to understand. I can tell you, all those good scientists in the valley, their time worth a lot of money. They don't have time for this type of thinking people. They want diligent people. They want the guy who they just say one word, I know it. That's it. And tomorrow come with the data. That's how when you deal with the real scientist. Okay? Again, good scientist is not our preschool teacher. The fourth type of unclear thinking is the magic thinking. The magic thinking is mind power, spine power. Straight spine have a lot of power. Center of gravity power, internal power. Are you serious? This is Thai boxing. It records in this book the competitions of Thai boxing with other martial arts. This here is a document of a famous fight between Thai boxing and other arts since from 1921 to 1985. You know what? We don't see mind power, we don't see spine power, we don't see internal power, we don't see joint power, we don't see using your center of gravity and you can solve the entire world problem. We don't see that in the records. Okay? On the other hand, this is Yi Jing Jing. Yes, the Shaolin Yi Jing Jing. You talk about internal and so forth. It is all well defined. It is not magic. It is well defined. You look at judo. All this kind of thing is in terms of momentum and force. There is no magic at all. And in fact, in today's MMA world, the common denominator is what I want to present you here. Okay? Now, again, don't pull in the alibi again. If one don't understand this, go read the physics books. Okay? The first thing is we need to know what is the center of gravity. Center of gravity is the average locations of the weight of an object. That's all. Center of gravity is the average locations of the weight of an object. That is all. You don't say, well, you know, I have this center of gravity and my dantian is center of gravity and I have this humongous of force or strength I can call from this center of gravity. What are you talking about? This center of gravity is, the define is this way. COG is the average locations of the weight of an object. Okay? Now, we know that today in MMA, in like I showed you just now, in judo, in martial arts, there is a relationship of impulse momentum and body mechanics. So what is this? Momentum is mass multiplied by velocity. Your mass multiplied by velocity. So what is power? Everybody talk about mind power, this power, that power. What power is? Force multiplied by velocity. Force multiplied by velocity. Now, if you want to express power in terms of momentum, power is equal to the rate at which momentum changes with respect to time multiplied by velocity. There is the relationship between momentum and power. It is impulse momentum based. It's a momentum based. That's why in Wing Chun matrix, the thing is mapping into physics, into impulse momentum. So we talk about power. Power is force multiplied velocity. Our power is rate at which momentum changes with respect to time multiplied velocity. And then here's momentum again. It got to do your body mass and it got to do with the velocity. Okay? Now, so what is strength? Well, strength is ability to exert force. Strength is the ability to exert force. So, power is ability to exert force rapidly. Very clear there. That's how human works, unless one is non-human. Okay? Now, what is muscle strength? Muscle strength is what it takes to push through like a barbell. Muscle strength is what it takes to push through barbell. That is the muscle strength. Now, what is muscle power? Muscle power is the explosiveness it takes to strike. The explosiveness it takes to strike. Impulse momentum, your biomechanics here is related, right? Your momentum, your muscle strength here. So if you want to have power and force with your human body, better to develop the strength, and you need the muscle, the entire body, your stability and mobility continuum, all sort of stuff. So that's why this impulse momentum, body mechanics. There's no magic there. Okay? Now, instead of saying, can Hendrik show this against unwilling opponent to show this point? This is using for measuring. This skill is using for measuring the weight, the force, the strength, so forth. So this is all scientific. You can get something like ISO chain. the isometric training where you be able to measure the force in Newton, and this is just using scale, so it's low cost. You can know how much strength you exert here. Now, without the strength, muscular strength, will we be able to have the explosive power? Will we be able to have this power, handle this momentum, rate of change of momentum? Of course it cannot. So where is all this spine power, mind power fit into this equation? Can the mind power, strength power, all those kind of internal mind power, spine power, all those internal power, joint power, center of gravity power being measured? That's what we want. So it's not about against unwilling opponent. You know what? Because the unwilling opponent can be who? Can be Mike Tyson, or can be a 90-year-old man. And you have a completely different result. That's why I want to get it all into this scientifically. There's only one reference, physics. So, you talk about mind power. Your yi, using yi, not using strength. Can you please measure how much a pound you can generate it with your yi, not using strength? And if you don't have that, like this, which is, we can see even Mike Tyson today using the high-tech tools for training. If we don't have that, we keep thinking mind power, spine power, chi power. Can we face people like Mike Tyson, or even not even Mike Tyson? You know, today everybody's training with the digital stuff, with scientific technology stuff. Not to mention, hey, internal is well defined in Chinese. Impulse momentum is well defined in Shaolin Sword Strike book. So the ancient Chinese, the ancestor, is going with the same direction with this. Not living in some kinds of Chinese fantasy world, or only Chinese have that paradigm, that world. No, everybody, the Chinese ancestor, is living in the same world as today Mike Tyson and everybody. So today, I share with you this. Drop the generalization thinking, drop the off topic, drop the alibi, drop the magic thinking. Only then one be able to clearly thinking and be able to see things clearly. Without that, it is unlikely one will be able to learn anything. So this is a serious stuff. And if this is not being really looked into, then we can all sit down and argue using generalizations, off-topic, alibi, and the magic way of argument like a lawyer, debating like a lawyer, like we have beer while watching the ball game in the sport bars, and argue the heck for next until in eternity, while we have no idea that our opponent, our friends, have already light year away. And they use scientific testing, scientific training, okay, digitized thing, quantized thing. So this is what I like to share with you, okay? Like what? Alice in the Wonderland? As they say, total, this is not Kansas anymore. If one wants to study martial art today in 2020, one better get rid of all this kind of 4 type of thinking. Because our best friend Xu Xiaodong, the Chinese MMA guy, is not going to wait for you. He's going to tell you it is a scam in front of your face. Look at what he do.